Yes, so we're back from another video, and I really wish this title was clickbait. Unfortunately, it's not. I'm just going to be doing an update for all of you about what's happened in the last couple of weeks. The last video I've done was the biggest video I've ever posted against Neymar Jr. himself, and there's a part 2 to that featuring Mbappe, Marquinhos and other crazy players of PSG. And that is coming very soon, but it's been delayed. The reason being, for what I'm about to explain, and that's because I've spent quite a lot of time in hospital and I had a very bad incident. So I was in Qatar, visit Qatar, with loads of PSG players, and it was crazy. And then I competed in the Red Bull Neymar Jr. 5s tournament. It was probably the best I've ever been physically, especially after my injury last year. We've been training loads, I was super strong, we performed well, and I got to see Neymar again. And that video is also going to come soon. I went straight to Paris, and this is where I was with PlayStation ahead of the Champions League final. I was there with Jono, and he's a massive Liverpool fan, so we were very excited for this final. However, we were in the PlayStation house, which was super cool. There were so many legends rolled through: Patrice Evra, Rio Ferdinand, Roberto Carlos, to name but a few. And the day after the Champions League final, the day after, I was going to be on Roberto Carlos's team playing against Kaká. I am going to explain what happened, but just to set the tone, after the Champions League final, I was coming back. I've been training super hard. We had some really big events coming up, and we had 3 World Panna Championships. I missed last year because of my injury. I was super ready now. I've been training 16 times a week. So to put that in context, that's Monday to Friday, 3 times a day, and Saturday morning. And then I have Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and Sunday off. So I've been training 16 times a week from this time last year, where I couldn't walk, all the way to now, to the strongest I've ever been. Here's some pictures to show the progress. I haven't actually got the most recent ones, but you'll be able to see that I was strong. As you know from the last update video, my dad quit his job so that he could come back and see me. He didn't have a job, so I actually hired him, and he's been my PT for the last year. We've lived together, and it's been amazing, and that's why I don't have any regrets from any of it. However, 51 weeks after my liver exploded because of the goalkeeper who collided with me, I was set to play this 11-a-side match, and I couldn't, because the day before the Champions League final, we'd just done all our work with PlayStation, we were having a nice meal, I had an excruciating pain in my belly. I'm thinking, yeah, okay, I need to leave. I remember waiting for the Uber, and it was taking ages, and I sent Jono to go and get some painkillers. Meanwhile, I threw up constantly 2 minutes later, and then I'd be hurting again, and I was sick, and it was happening for a couple of hours, to the point where there was nothing. I'd be sick, but nothing's coming out. And I'm thinking, man, this must be some bad food poisoning. The night was progressing, and it got to a stage where I thought, yeah, you know what, we need to get a doctor. So a doctor visited the hotel, and he thought I could have what he called an occlusion. There's many words here now, which I'll be honest, I'd get pretty confused with, so I'm going to try my best not to butcher it. I'm gonna get the letter. Right. Yes, ma pochette de sortie. I think that means discharge letter. So anyway, I went to. What the fuck? I'm not gonna say a lot happened, but it's a lot of paper. Essentially, the doctor who thought it could be an occlusion was right. And he was a legend. So an occlusion, he looked at my scar from last year, you know, the foot-long scar where I had 88 staples. He looks at it and he thought there's probably some scar tissue underneath that, and there's a chance that because I'm throwing up so much, nothing can pass through my digestive system. He thinks it could have been strangulated by the scar tissue. So we've got your intestine. Jono had diagrams, you know, intestine strangled by scar tissue. Now that doesn't sound very nice. It wasn't. I went to hospital, jumped in an ambulance, and I was in this emergency room. I was in the emergency room and I got seen to straight away. They put me on a bed, and I stopped throwing up, partly because I hadn't consumed anything in so long, partly because I stopped moving. So I just laid down when I got there. I didn't want to move. As soon as I moved, I got nauseous and I was sick. And they were doing some blood tests. It took a number of hours, and they were very good, but the conditions were pretty nasty. There was no pillow, like super uncomfortable. There were people in there who were very, very unwell, and it's reasonably distressing, but I was fine. You know, I'm used to it after last year. So we were there, I waited 7 hours, and then I requested that I got a CT scan. That then came through, very good. Results, very bad. Did definitely have occlusions. There was a strangulation on my digestive system. And that's very painful and very dangerous. Essentially, if that doesn't get fixed, I will have just thrown up until I died. This bit was nasty. They ran a tube up my nose, down my mouth, and you know that bit where you swallow? It sits on there, and it went all the way into my stomach, and it would pull out all the liquid and bile. I was on a drip, that's how I was getting my fluids, but I couldn't eat or drink normally. And I was on this for a couple of days. They wanted to see if potentially it would pass, because the last thing you want to do is open up the scar again. It creates, every time you cut, there's more scar tissue. And you know, the first couple of days were okay, but it would get progressively worse. Basically your airways would get agitated because of the tube. They would get sore, they'd fill up with phlegm. And that doesn't sound too bad, but then I did go in for surgery. So it got to the stage where I said, look, it's not working, Jack, we're gonna have surgery. There were 3 levels to the surgery. Level 1 is they open me up through the core and they cut out the scar tissue, and they hope that the digestive system and the intestines are intact so that they don't have to remove it. They may have to remove a part of the intestine, that's level 2, and level 3 is they have to remove all the intestine, which leaves me with some sort of stoma, which is a different form of digestion, and not particularly pleasant. Being told that, obviously it's not nice, but I was very happy to be going into surgery because I was in so much discomfort that I would take it. I went in surgery, they opened me up again. They removed 6 occlusions, which is a lot. They didn't expect it to be that much, but because of how bad my injury was last year and how much blood there was, a lot of scar tissue had formed. Following that, I woke up the next day, I still had the tube in, and we had to see if my digestive system would start working again. So my intestine diagram had been strangled and was now flat, and you have to see if it's going to open. If it opens again, good. Then things can start passing. If it doesn't, then we have to cut this part out or all of it out. So I still wasn't done. They say it can take 3 days. 4.5 days later, they opened. So I had 4.5 days, which I can say very easily now, with this tube still. And this tube at this point was nasty, because I had so much phlegm in the back of my throat, across my mouth and into my lungs, and it was kind of like glue, and I couldn't budge it, and it would make me cough, and I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't lay down, and I would cough and cough. And when you've got a newly opened scar after you've been cut in half, that's pretty nasty. But what was amazing was Jono stayed with me the whole time, so he was there with our visiting hours each day, and somehow he managed to stay pretty much the whole day, so that was a ledge. Then Mum, Dad and Izzy all came out to Paris as soon as they could, so that was amazing. I was seeing them, that raised the morale. That's the reason that it was easily done to get through this. And then even I caught Ollie, my friend out there, and the support from you lot was obviously amazing across Instagram. And now I'm doing this update for anyone that, obviously didn't see it. So obviously make sure that you're on Instagram for all the updates of my near-death experiences. Then I had to get out of hospital, and a couple of days later I was discharged. I've been in there exactly a week. I've missed the Champions League final, and Liverpool lost. Great. And my team lost to Kaka's team. Great. And then let's get the Eurostar back. And I had to wait 2 days in Paris to get it, and these 2 days were hell. I was in a hotel room, and we thought I'd be fine to eat again, and they said anything that's a soft diet, so anything easily digestible I can eat. Perfect. It doesn't work out like that. First thing I had was soup, and I was so ill that I couldn't leave my bed for about 20 hours. I tried to eat again the next day, I was very ill, and then I had to get the Eurostar back. The vibrations on a train are really bad. They don't feel bad normally, but my guts it felt like they were going to explode. I had this thing where my belly would fill with bubbles if I drank water or if I ate anything, and then I'd be sick. And it's very weird. So then when I came back from Eurostar, I went to hospital again here in England, and they didn't quite know what was wrong, but they tried to help. Instead they just gave me loads and loads of codeine and painkillers. We were reassured by the fact that this should pass. Now it's been another week since, and I've been really monitoring my diet, eating super simple things. I'm up now currently to having 2 eggs a day for breakfast with gluten-free white bread, which is actually better. I've got to avoid wheat, I've got to avoid certain sugars, I've got to avoid vegetables. It's a mad diet. I'm definitely avoiding soup. I eat a lot of jelly. And because of this, I went from 75 kg, pretty strong. Now I'm weighing 62 kg, definitely not strong, but at least I can still walk. So I'm pretty happy. But we're getting there. The point of this video is we're getting there, and it sucks having to do all of this rehab again. Because I'm pretty much in the exact same situation I was last year, which is a situation I should never have been in. I think it's incredibly unfair. I was literally, nutmegging Neymar, about to go world champs. I was super excited to share all of these moments with you because I've been working so hard that I knew good things were coming. However, we're gonna have to wait an extra year, I guess. But I'm gonna make sure that it's entertaining for you lot, because you lot have made it so much easier for me to get through it this time and last time. So what we've got going on, we've got a lot of good videos coming up that were already pre-filmed. You'll see me there, I'll still be strong, you'll still enjoy it. In the meantime, I am working super hard. The essence of it is that I was extremely happy. Everything was going amazingly well, and I didn't want to share it with you lot because I didn't want it to be true. We went through this last year. I didn't want to have to drag you through it with me again this year, but I guarantee it will be worth it. I genuinely believe that good things will come from it, and I don't think it will happen again. This was something that was genuinely out of my control. It was predetermined to happen from my previous injury. There was no way I could escape it. We were just hoping that it wouldn't happen. And I genuinely believe that the most rewarding things come from the hardest times. And these are the hardest times, so we're gonna get the rewards eventually. We just gotta keep working at it. Currently, I'm at my mum's house. This is where I rehabbed last year. It's where I'm gonna rehab this year. Saying I'm not allowed any sport for a month, that's not too bad. Partly because it's already been 2 weeks. The new scar's pretty cool. It's not necessarily as cool as the old scar, but we'll take it. We've got to look after that. That can take 9 months. And also because I've got more time now off the ball, I'm bringing back merch for you lot, and we're doing some pretty cool designs. At the moment, there's gonna be t-shirts, hoodies, maybe some bags, caps. If there's anything else you want, comment it down below. And this is the time for you lot to be involved. There's a design up for grabs. Basically, I want a quote. I want some sort of quote. It's gonna go on a piece, and I want it to be inspirational, and I can't quite decide what it should be. If I select yours to be it, I'm gonna send you all the merch for free, and maybe some other cool things that I can throw in. In the previous video, there is a very big giveaway going on, and I don't want anyone to miss it. So what's gonna happen with that, I'm gonna announce the winner in part 2 of the PSG video. So it's gonna be very obvious to see, it's gonna be in that video, so do not miss it. But it does give you an extra week or so to enter, and what's the prize is a signed Neymar football that I'll send directly to you. And actually in the part 2 video, there's some other insane prizes, because there's a top signed by Neymar, Mbappe, Xavi Simons, Nuno Mendes, Donnarumma, and Marquinhos. So don't miss that video, that's gonna be a good one. And YouTube shorts, I'm gonna be posting 2 YouTube shorts a week. Basically everyone tells me I should, so I'm gonna 2 YouTube shorts a week. If you don't like them, I'm sorry. If you do like them, well, I'm very glad. And I've got to say a massive thank you to all of you. You truly are the MVPs. Your support is noticed. I had many messages, many prayers. I couldn't reply to them all, but it meant a lot seeing them. And it really lifted my spirits. Obviously to my close friends, family, my mum, my sisters, my dad, my girlfriend, all my friends, everyone in the squad, big up. And some of the brands that I work with. So PlayStation, they looked after me amazingly well. They sorted me out with the hospital, and they looked after me really, really well. So thank you to them. Thank you to everyone from the street football community. Really appreciate the online presence. I really felt that. This is a sad video insofar as we didn't want it to happen. However, I think it's truly exciting what's going to happen next. When things like this happen in your life, you have 2 options. One is to be sad about it, and one is to do something about it. And we're doing something about it. I was doing big things before. Lots of projects were secret and hidden, and I wasn't telling you about them just yet. However, those projects will still carry... For God's sake, However, those projects will still carry on and they are really, really exciting. So I'm looking forward to sharing them with you. Until the next video, y'all MVPs, make sure you smash that like button, comment down below any questions you have from today, and I'll try and answer them all in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell. Y'all MVPs. Yesterday was the first time I was allowed to do kick-ups. I was allowed because no one was in the house, no one could stop me. So I did. It looked like this and my PB was 14. It took a while and it was very tiring. And today I'm going to try and beat that. Oh, that's an actor. Yeah, boy.